Hi, welcome to Bobby's Viral Friends. I'm Bobby Collins, and I'm with today two people that I think a lot of and I admire. The first one is a true pioneer in stand-up comedy as well as magic. Over 50 television shows, including HBO, Showtime, A&E, the Comedy Channel. He's been the opening act for Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I see him when he comes out here to California at the Magic Castle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. John Ferrentino.
Hey, Bobby. Good to be here with you.
Pleasure. And sitting and joining us as a gentleman, he's an actor. You've seen him in many movies. Mall Cop 1 and 2, King of Queens on television, Zookeeper, Kevin Can Wait on television, Grown Ups, former owner of a club that we will talk about, East Side Comedy Club on Long Island. He's a veteran stand-up comedian, and he's got a huge heart. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mr. Richie Minervini. Hey, guys.
Bobby, great to be here.
Oh, thanks for coming on. It's good. Now, Richie's sitting in the car in where? Florida?
Well, I was driving. I couldn't get a connection, so I drove to Starbucks. I figured they got a good internet. There's a free plug for Starbucks.
John, where are you?
I am in Merritt Island, Florida, about 20 minutes from where the space launch is going to be tomorrow.
Oh, my God. Look at us. Look at us. And how do we all know each other? East Side Comedy Club.
No, that's nice, but Dixon's. Richard M. Dixon's in Massapequa, 1970.
Richard M. Dixon. And he looked like Nixon.
He actually had his nose lengthened, surgically lengthened, and hair pulled out of his head. So he had that hairline of Nixon.
For those people who don't know, Dixon's White House Inn was one of the first comedy clubs on Long Island. He was a Nixon lookalike and made millions of dollars, I think, from taking a picture with a martini, a Smirnoff martini, sitting in front of a fireplace as Nixon when Nixon was president. It was billboards, everything.
Really?
Yeah. He got paid $75,000 to $150,000 per college performer just to go, I am not a crook. He would lead up rock shows like that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew this. Go ahead.
So he had his nose made longer. He had hair removed from his head to have a hairline like Nixon, perfectly. He's making all kinds of. He was a veteran actor, a good actor, but now he's making money. And then Nixon gets impeached. All his college gigs, $2 million at the college gigs, out, stuck with a big nose and a bad hairline, and he looks like Nixon.
Bob, the scary part is he really thought he was Nixon. I got a letter from him once, addressed from the Oval Office, but I had to go meet him. So when I got there, Bobby Woods was sitting outside at the table, and he's like, "What is this all about?" I go, "I don't know. He wants to see us." So I walk into the Oval Office, and Maddie's there and says, "Let me escort you to the Oval Office," which was just like upstairs at that club. I mean, it wasn't like a big deal. So I sit down, and he goes, "John, I'm telling you, I've been watching you for a while, and I just got to tell you, you got it." And I go, "What?" He goes, "You got it, and I know because I got it. You got it." And I go, "Well, thank you." And he goes, "Don't thank me, goddammit. Thank him. Meeting over." And that was it.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's a true story. And I walked outside, and Bob Woods goes, "What's the meeting about?" And I told him the exact meeting. He goes, "This is crap." And he just got in his car and drove home.
Was he a nut job?
Well, I had a meeting with him too. I said, I'm working every night. It was a showcase club first, and the comics started showing up, and we started pushing away all the people doing theater and singing, and it turned into a comedy club because of us. Me, Hawthorne, Martling, Eddie Murphy, Rob Bartlett, Bobby Nelson, Jeff Zabrowski. So I said, "Listen, man, I'm only getting $10 a night. I quit my job in real estate. I got to get more money. I need 25. He goes, "Sit down. You're asking me for $15 a night? Are you out of your mind? A talent like you should be getting $25,000, $50,000 a night. And you're talking about a measly 15. Get out of here." Okay. I went home, 25,000 a night. I drove home, 50,000 a night. I'm thinking, I got $10. Yeah.
Oh God.
Wait, this is another good one, right? We're all been in. I met Richie the second night Dixon's was even open. My mother goes, they opened up a comedy club. I went down there and I thought I was like a hot crap magician because I was doing kids parties and working at a magic store part-time because I had a degree in x-ray at the time. So I went down and I went up and my mother goes, you got to see this. They opened a new comedy club. And I was there the second night they worked. And I went up to Richie and I was really amazed at how funny these guys were. You know, they were really funny. They'd been on stage 2 nights. And I went up to Richie and I go, yeah, you know, you guys are really funny. Richie goes, what do you do? And I go, I do magic. He goes, you start next Wednesday. He goes, I need a magician between all these comedians. So that's how I got to know all these guys. Oh. But we had been in the business about maybe 8 months. And Dixon goes, tomorrow night, I have it all arranged. A big agent's coming in to watch you guys. So we're all excited. Big agent's coming in, right?
Right.
So we go on, and basically we all sucked that night because we were all nervous. So Dave Hawthorne, who at the time had been in a comedy team with Billy Crystal.
Right.
And Al Pinelli.
Oh, my God. How you remember this?
And basically he went up, Hawthorne went up to the agent and said, what agency are you with? And the guy goes, State Farm. So it was like in the Frankenstein movie where we grabbed the pitchforks and we surrounded Dixon and we went, you lied to us, man. You just lied to us. You know, you told us a big agent comes in and he sits back and takes out his pipe and he goes, let me tell you something. I told you there was an agent coming here tonight and you all sucked. He goes, thank God he wasn't a real agent or you'd be out of the business. Ha, ha, ha. And we were like, and you know what? When we look back at now, it was probably.
But I remember continually going out there and meeting all the guys and Bobby Woods, all the guys, Eddie Murphy with, what was his, he was
Clint.
But there was 2 of them.
Clint was his buddy.
No, Eddie and what was it? What were they called? There was 2 comics.
Oh, the identical triplets.
Identical.
Nelson, Bartlett, and Murphy.
Right. And
you
Jimmy Myers.
You were like the cross. You were like the cross comic. I was telling you this. It's like you were one of the few guys that worked the island that we all knew and the city.
Right.
Because you know, it was just funny. You were like, I don't care where I work. We're all just circus folk looking for a tent.
Yep.
That's all I said. We're carny.
Bill Keller used to come out and tell us, we're no good. We can't go to the city. And we thought Bill Keller was the big city act. And you went, Bill Keller? He's an asshole.
Right.
Come on out to the city. Come on out.
And to this day, I have so much respect for the Long Island comics, not only because I work there and I know them, it's because they were always some of the finest comics in the country. Because after traveling around and opening for Cher and Julio, you always saw that very plain and simple. And I really think because the city guys were city, and then the minute they went to Oklahoma, they hit their subway bits, their pothole bits, their cop. It was no good. We were Long Island, close enough to the city to be cool, and still suburbia. So we really made it, and we were all friends.
And also because we didn't have that whole group of the cookie cutter comic joke technology guys in front of us, where every guy was like the same. We didn't know what we were doing. We all developed differently because we had nobody to follow. We were the first guys.
Hey, Richie, where did you get it in your head? All right, enough of this place. But was he a good guy or was he a schmuck?
No, Dixon was trying to teach us comedy, and he had to make a living too. So I thought I was a business major, a realtor, and I'm thinking $5 a head to get in. There's 100 people. It's $500. He's giving the acts $5 and me 10. You know, that money belongs to us. Right. So I started doing shows in other clubs. And then as a realtor, I had this comedy club. It was just a restaurant, and the owner was I couldn't rent it. I said, let's put up a plastic sign called East Side, and then I'll still show it. And we were packed. And then 3 weeks later, I signed a long-term lease with the guy, and the rest was history.
Exit 44, LIE.
I don't know. I never got off there. Is that what it was?
I think
he lived there. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was. We loved it.
Oh, it was great. Fun. You know, it was. But to give you an idea how much Richie liked the comics, he ended up having a fight with his brother because the comic. Remember, your brother told you were giving the comedians too much money.
My brother said, "You know, it wasn't for these. Can we curse here?"
Sure.
Okay, I don't normally curse, but if to tell the story, you have to be authentic. My brother said, if it wasn't for these fucking comedians, we can make some money here. I said, what are we going to do? Put an SM58 Shure microphone on stage and tell people to come on in? Yeah. Jeez. I would call him up and he would say, I said, how's the show? Oh, my God. We made some money tonight. He goes, oh, really? How was the show? Who cares? What do you mean, who cares? I care.
Which brother was that?
My older brother, the businessman.
Oh. Chuck.
I said, Chuck, if we do a good show, the people will leave and our pockets will be lined with money. If you're just looking for the money, they're not going to come. You can't be nickel and diamond.
Right.
Well, I'll have you tell that Bobby Collins was always an inspiration to me. This is a true story, and you'll remember this. He used to call me aside, put his arm around me, and go, give me the neck. Listen, Johnny, I got to tell you, you're not like these Long Island guys. You don't walk around with a dick on your nose.
Did I really say that?
Do you remember that? Oh, yeah. Because Frankie Pace used to drive you crazy.
Oh. He drove all of us crazy.
All of us.
Oh, God.
What were some of the other guys? I mean, every comic that we've known, from Jerry Seinfeld to, whoever has worked out there at East Side Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah. They just made it a landmark.
It was, how many years were you up there, Rich?
15 years. Yeah. 15, 16 years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was there opening night with Jackie Mason.
That was, first we had a soft opening the week before. We had 10 comedians to fill an hour-and-a-half show because Seinfeld had 12 minutes, and that was it. Right. The rest of us had 5, 6, 8. So we had like 12 guys on. And then the next week we had Jackie Mason, who, that was fun. I was charging $10 at the door. We only had 120 seats. And he said, how can you afford to give me $10,000 if you only have 120 seats? I said, I got the money. I had the money for him. And my staff is banging on the door. We want our money. My chef said, we want our money. We've been working 3 weeks. So Mason said, do you have money for them? Don't worry about them. He goes, you charged $10 at the door? You made $4,000?
Richie, how many people did East Side see?
120 legally. So Mason said, keep the $10,000, pay your staff. I'll come back next year. You pay me then.
How great.
And he came back every year. He never took the first 10,000. He was that sweet a guy. Put out 4 big shows. He was amazing.
But all the comics.
I'll tell you a great East Side story. So I had been on the road with Crosby, Stills, and Nash for all of these years. And then I stopped. I didn't do the tour because the next tour was this big electric tour. So they were working at Jones Beach. And so Graham Nash called me up and said, hey, you're going to come to my show? And I said, no. I go, I can't. And he goes, oh, so now you're not opening for us? You're not going to come visit us? And I go, well, I can't. I'm working. I got 3 shows on Saturday night. And he goes, well, where are you working? And I go, I'm working at the East Side Comedy Club. I go, well, you can come see me. And then all of a sudden, at about midnight, the doorman comes running and goes, 3 tour buses just pulled in the parking lot. There's like 20 guys that say they're on your guest list. And they all came to the East Side. All Crosby came, Graham Nash came, all the roadies came, the manager came, and they just all walked in and like, we're on 13's guest list, which was kind of cool, you know?
I remember living in Manhattan, and I was booked out at East Side Friday and Saturday night. And I remember on Saturday, the opening act was Jackie the Joke Man.
Right.
And I said to him, hey, listen, second show. I said, listen, the last train. You remember it. I go, the last train goes back at 11 o'clock. Now the show starts at 10. Or when did it start, the second show on?
Maybe 9:30.
Okay. I said, I got to make that train. So he goes, oh, no, I'm the opening act. I'm going to do 20 minutes like that. He did like 45 minutes to an hour. And I was pacing back, and I'm looking at my watch. I'm going, oh, no, I got I got to make. And he got off and he goes, there you go. They're good. I said, yeah, but I asked you if you could. I missed the train. I had to stand out there in the rain on the Long Island Railroad in the rain for like another hour and a half. I was freezing. I was and I go, son of a bitch. Why would he do that? All things just happen.
He wouldn't wear a watch. He would come off stage and he go, right on the money, man. 20 minutes. I go, that was 45.
40.
Wait. In all fairness, Richie was the MC, and there'd be an act waiting in the dressing room, waiting to go on. And they go, he's bringing me up in 5. And Richie would tell a joke and get a huge laugh. And the guy goes, I guess I'm going on. I go, not yet. And they go, why? That laugh was too big. Then he get another huge laugh. And he goes, it must be now. I go, nope, too big. Nope. And then he'd do a joke and it'd be okay. I go, get ready.
That's great. That's
Not
great.
Not leave a hot crowd. Stay out.
Never leave a hot crowd. Stay up.
No.
Hey, what are some of the other guys? I know some have passed. Bobby Woods.
One of the greats.
Al Spear.
Al Spear. Who was the magician? The
first time you met Hal Spear, you go to me. Who was this chicky melon-headed kid?
Did I say that?
Yeah. You go, who's this big melon-headed kid that calls me Chicky?
He did. He kept calling me Chicky. I go like this. Hey, good. How are you? Wacko.
I'll tell you a great story.
Messina was the bartender.
Yeah. Right.
Jeff Sussman was like the other. Well, he started as
a waiter,
busboy, right?
He's a waiter.
That true?
He was a waiter. Yeah. Judd Apatow was the dishwasher.
Who I thought was retarded.
I know.
I'm telling you,
I told
Bobby
that yesterday. I don't know if we can say that on the air. Yeah, Richie.
No, my wife saw him yesterday walking here in Santa Monica. He lives that far.
His father would drop him off at the club 2 hours before he was booked into work. And then he would walk around with a pad. And I kept saying, Judd, is that your name, Judd? Just wash the dishes. Okay. And he'd writing. And then his father would pick him up, or he would take a taxi home. And one night we had a slow night. He said, Mr. Minervini, I don't have enough money for my taxi. I said, I'll drive you home, buddy. No problem. Where do you live? Smithtown. 48 minutes away. I went, I said, wait a minute. I said, how do you normally get home? He goes, I take a cab. I said, well, what does that cost? He said, $40, $45. I said, well, how much do you make? $35. I'm thinking, why would you do this? Because I like working here. I thought there was something wrong with this kid.
Right.
I know he had big plans to be around the comedy club. So a couple of years go by, they're interviewing me on Newsday like 2 years ago. And I said, yeah, I saw Rosie O'Donnell's talent. I wasn't a fan. I saw the audience laugh. I said, Bobby Nelson, I saw him laugh. Martling, I knew was going places. Murphy, knew was going places. I said, Rosie, I'm not a fan, but the audience was a fan. She gets booked on the stage. And he said, how about Judd Apatow? She goes, how about Judd Apatow? I said, I never saw any talent in Judd Apatow. He was a dishwasher who spun a tray on his hand. And then he went on to great success. Well, they come out with the story. They don't mention that I said he came out with great success. Richie Minervini never saw any talent in Judd Apatow. So I get a phone call. I get a phone call from Sussman. He goes, "Why do you have to slam Judd Apatow?" I go, "I didn't slam Judd Apatow. I went on to say he's one of my favorites. I love the way he writes. He married Leslie Mann. He's one of my idols."
Right.
And he goes, "Well, I got somebody here." And he goes, "You didn't see any talent?" I go, "Who's this?" "This is Judd Apatow. I had talent." I went, "Hey, Judd, how you doing?" He goes, "You're not in my next movie." I said, "Hold on." And then he started laughing. He just started laughing. He goes, "I know how it works." And he said to me, the next time you get a question, make sure you have the question in there so you don't end up embarrassing yourself like that. Judd Apatow went on to be a great talent. I didn't see any then, but obviously he's a great success now. I said, "Okay, Judd, good point." Hey, my favorite celebrity story at the club, Billy Joel lived in Huntington, so he used to come in a lot.
Right.
Okay, and Jerry Cooney was there. He loved boxing. And Billy goes to me, "Hey, Minervini, guess who I have a date with next week?" I said, "I don't know who." "Christy Brinkley, the model, the actress." I go, the model, yeah, she's no actress. He goes, "You know who I'm talking about, Christy Brinkley?" And he's so excited. I go, "You're Billy Joel." He goes, I don't give a fuck who I am. She's still Christy Brinkley.
Right.
So he was so excited. So he goes, I don't know where to take her. I said, you got to bring her right here. He goes, yeah, I'm going to bring her to this little comedy club. I go, Billy, you're out of her league. She's out of your league. You have nothing to talk about over dinner. You come here. I'll let you come in. No one's going to see you. I'll put you in the booth. She'll see 8 comedians go up. You'll know what she's laughing at, dirty, not prudish. She's hysterical.
Right. Good.
You'll have then you leave. You go to the diner. You can talk about Bobby Nelson and Bobby Woods and Ferrentino and Martling. You'll know exactly everything. He goes, you know what? That makes sense. So his first date with Christy Brinkley, right there at the East Side, and the rest is history.
You know, it's funny because after I'd performed there, I'd either sometimes go in Long Island to eat at a diner, and he would be there, and he'd wave to me, and he said, "Great show tonight." And I was like, wow, who is that? That's that singer, Billy Joel.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, he was great and still great.
We had when the year that the Islanders won the Stanley Cup 40 years ago. Saturday was the anniversary, and we did a roast for the New York Islanders, and so we had to do this roast, and we were roasting their goaltender. The morning of the roast, they traded him.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Richie comes out to open the roast, and he goes, so as you all know, the goaltender got traded, and I've been writing jokes about him for the last 3 weeks, and I'm not giving him up, so here goes.
So I think we slipped in Denny Potvin, who was he's a 4-time Stanley Cup champion.
Right.
Like he was nothing. Like, okay, we gotta we're gonna do Denny Potvin now. I'm still talking to Denny today. I talked to him 3 days ago.
Wow.
40 years later, it's fantastic.
Now
that was, that club was like our clubhouse, no matter what. And then as we started getting other gigs.
But I got to tell you, how's this pandemic affecting you guys?
Well, I am hosting a radio show every morning.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been taking it really serious, like you. I mean, we're really in trouble here where I live because we've only had like 12 cases.
Yeah.
But right now, tomorrow, the NASA's telling everyone not to come to the launch, and the sheriff got on and said, no, I want everyone to come. It's an American thing. So they're expecting 200,000 people.
Where?
To Merritt Island tomorrow. It's the first space launch. It's the first space launch in 9 years with real astronauts. Well,
you got to explain to Bobby that's Cape Canaveral. Right there.
Yeah, I'm having a launch from my backyard. No, I see them go off over my house. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
But this weekend, the beaches look like Jones Beach in the summertime, where it's like, there was hundreds of thousands of people at the beach, and they're all coming from Orlando and everywhere. So, so I was just talking to my friend who's a doctor. He goes, in the next 14 days, we're going to be back on the grid again. Big. Hey,
look at some of the positives. I'm out here in California. I'm still amazed coming from New Hyde Park, Manhattan, coming from the East Coast. When I turn around and I see these celebrities coming out and saying, all right, now they're sitting in these mansions saying, stay at home, be safe. I'm going, your fucking pool is bigger than my apartment in New York. And I'm like, and then in their kitchens, they got these food processors. They got these juice things. My mother used to have a spoon. Remember the spoon?
I know. My daughter, who, as you guys know, is a pretty successful playwright. And she's in the middle of
pretty successful playwright. She's the hottest young playwright on the scene today. What are you talking about?
I know. He's being
humbled. Ferrentino being humbled for the first time in his life, and he got it on video.
Right.
But anyway, the point of it, the joke of the story is that she's quarantined at my ex-wife's house because her fiance is from England. He can't get there. She has to write these. She's got a deadline for these 3 or 4 movies that she's writing.
Wow.
As one does. And so she had to buy this little $100 pool. And so she's in the backyard and she's going, look at my life.
I know.
Look at my life. She goes, I have a house in London. He goes, I was looking at $1 million property and I'm swimming in a $100 pool.
Don't you miss getting up on the stage?
I don't.
I'm dying to get up on the stage.
Me too. I miss. You don't?
No.
Why?
I think because in the last couple of years, I started doing that paranormal thing.
Yeah, I liked it.
So I've been writing a lot of stuff for that. So I think that I've been doing a lot of writing and doing some videos and stuff. So that's kind of taken it from me. And it's because I use volunteers, I know it's going to be a while till I can go on stage.
I haven't been off 3 weeks in 40 years.
I was off 2.5 weeks during my honeymoon, and my wife, I was going crazy. My wife said, "You haven't been on stage." I said, "No, that's not it." She goes, "I've been doing everything possible on a honeymoon." I was on a sailboat. I said to the Captain Cool, he was a Rasta, "Is there any place around here where they have entertainment?" He goes, "I know an English boy who sings some bawdy songs." We sailed 6 hours to this guy's club. We got him on the radio. I went up on stage. I'm looking at it, 150 people laughing from New Zealand, Australia, America, England. Everyone's happy, laughing, except for this one puss. I kind of scanned one way. I scanned back, the same puss, and it's the wife.
Oh, my God.
We get back on the sailboat, and she goes, "We've been on a honeymoon for 2.5 weeks. I've done everything a woman should do on a honeymoon. I will never make you as happy as you were tonight doing a free show in front of those 60, 70 people." I was like,
"Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?"
It was enlightening. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, back then, like we were talking about, because I told Bobby this story yesterday, he said I should bring it up. It was like we became like, Richie's like my brother. You know what I mean? We were neighbors. He would just stop by my house. We had kids the same age. And, we just show up like at dinner time. "All right, what are we doing for dinner tonight?" You know what I mean? And it was just a special bond that I don't know if a lot of the younger guys have that anymore.
I'll tell you why they don't, John. We started the East Side, and we ended up getting paid well.
Right.
And we all quit our jobs, and we made a living. These young guys today have a regular day job, and they don't stick around till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and we'll talk to the other comics. They do their 10-minute, 12-minute spots. They move to another club to their 10-minute spots. They're all by themselves, not knowing how to advance unless they get that 10-minute spot that someone sees and they go, "Okay, this guy's going." And there's a lot of them. We know every comedian from coast to coast.
You're right.
Now,
you're right.
We know 10% of them.
And, Bobby can appreciate this story because you're an amazing father. But like when my daughter got hurt once and she was in the backyard and she fell over and almost cut her wrist off
with a dairy bottle.
And she got rushed to the hospital. And my doctor goes, "I know just the guy." And he gives me this card. And this doctor walks in, Richard, remember this, and his card actually said, "Traumatic reattachment of the left lower arm." That was his specialty.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so he goes, "But the problem is I operate at midnight because I don't need anybody in. I don't need anybody looking over my shoulder because when I leave, I don't ever go back in, And he comes walking in with a suit jacket over, cocky bastard. But as a dad at that point, I needed the cockiest person you can get. So he walks in and he goes, "Do we have the hand?" And I go, yeah, it's attached. He goes, "Well, then you got nothing to worry about." So at 12 o'clock at night, when he starts operating, about 2 o'clock in the morning, Richie shows up at the hospital with coffee and donuts and sandwiches.
Richie.
And just sits there with, we were just devastated. And he sat there with us, and then he calls me aside. This is my favorite story. And he goes, "Come here, man, I got something for you." And he takes out a cigar box. And he goes, "Listen, in this box, I have $220,000 that I'm using to build my new club." He goes, "I just want you to take the box. Anything that your daughter needs, take out of the box. Don't worry about paying me back because this is more important than my club." And I went, "Richie, that's so kind. I have health insurance." He went, "Oh, thank God."
I didn't have health insurance. I mean, I got it after that.
Richie, big heart, big heart.
Oh my
big
God,
heart,
that's so funny.
big heart. And somebody came up to me a couple of years later. They go, "Richie's doing one of your jokes," and I go, "Do you think I care?" He just laid out his whole life to me.
But look at some of the characters we've all known. The guys most popular and least popular. Eddie Murphy. Who else? Who else did we all know from?
Ray Romano used to work there. Kevin James. Ray Romano, Kevin James.
I was on with Ray last week. We were all laughing and doing the same thing we're doing right now.
Bob Nelson, the Howard Hughes of comedy.
Who?
Bob Nelson, the Howard Hughes of comedy.
Oh,
hey, Ray Romano called me up about 2 months ago. He goes, Richie, Ray here. I go, yeah? Call me right back. I go, all right. I call him back. I go, what's up? He goes, I can't be calling you. I'm a big star. You have to call me. I went, why haven't you called? I went, I don't want to bother you. Oh, don't start that shit. We're friends. I was like, what's up? He goes, I'm in a movie with Pacino and De Niro. I go, I know, yeah, it's great.
And Pesci.
And Pesci. He goes, I go, yeah, it's cool. He goes, no, you don't understand me. Pacino, Pesci, De Niro, Romano. I go, I know. Look, you're Ray Romano. He goes, when have you heard those 4 names together before? He goes, you got to watch the movie and tell me what you think. I went, all right. So I watched the movie. I called him. How was it? I said, listen, you weren't a guinea. You weren't a mafioso. You were like an intelligent Italian lawyer. He goes, yes, that's what I want to hear. Okay, good. He was so happy, and he did such a great job.
He did.
My God.
He did a great job.
But it's funny, when my kids were growing up, and, Ray and I had the same manager. We were both at Rory Rose Garden. So every time we do Comic Strip Live, Ray and I, for some reason, always did it together. So my kids would I'd come home, my kids would go, Daddy, your friend that sounds like Kermit the Frog, he called. So wait, this is a great one. I'm in the hospital. I had this major surgery, and I wake up from the surgery, and the nurse goes, there's somebody on the phone says he's Ray Romano. Like this isn't true. So I pick up the phone, and this is what I hear. John, Ray, walk it off. That was it. Hangs up.
Oh my God. Look at us.
I know that this story's been told 1,000 times, but it's really a great story because you know all the characters. So Bob, everyone makes claim to this story, but this is a great story. So Bob Woods, who we loved, he was bigger than, for people that know who he was, picture Jackie Gleason, right?
Right.
And so anyway, he had been doing really well. He had finally got his life together and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden he had this new girlfriend. And the next thing we know, he's living in his car.
What?
So I go, what's going on, Bobby? And he goes, I thought you got divorced and you have a new girlfriend. He goes, I broke up with the wife, then I broke up with the girlfriend. I go, why? He goes, I was on a roll. Right? So the story goes that they were working at Rascals in Jersey, and it was in like March or February. Right. And he's living in his car at the train station. Oh, right. Oh. And the whole inside of the car is caked with ice. They pick him up, and his car has now stopped running because the battery's been dead. And it's terrible. But he's so stubborn. I've invited him to live at my house. He goes, I'm happy where I am. So it was the coldest night in history, and they're driving him back to his car, and they're going, Bobby, listen, you can't stay in that car tonight. It's like almost zero out. And he's like, don't tell me where I'm staying, and they're going, listen, you can't stay in the car, and it's too cold, and he's going, I'll be fine. Right. And it goes on and on all the way back from Jersey, which is like an hour and a half ride. Right. They finally get to the car, and there's ice on the windows, and he gets out of the car, and they said, as soon as he opens the door, this chill just hits you. And then all of a sudden, whoever the comic was, because everyone took credit to the story, they were driving away really slow. And they see Woodsy running behind the car, waving them down. It's like, oh, finally, he came to his senses. So they back the car up. They roll down the window, and he goes, I'm sorry I'm so rude. Would you like to come in for a while?
I think it was Bill Keller.
I don't know who it was.
What? I think it happened to a lot of comedians with Bobby. So I eventually, a buddy of mine dies. I said, you know what? I drive to the station. I pick up Woods. I said, I'm not hearing shit. You come in the middle of my house. I don't want to hear nothing. My fiance is not crazy about the idea. I said, my house is your house. And I was going away. 3 weeks later, he's smoking cigarettes. He's stinking up my house. He's smoking pot. He's burning my couch. I said, look, my house is your house, Bobby. I'm going away for the weekend. My girlfriend said, I'm not staying here with that guy. I said, then come with me. So I said, Bobby, I'll be back on Sunday. Okay, we leave. The gig's over Saturday night. It's a Catskills. I can make it home in 3 hours.
Sure.
We come home 4 o'clock in the morning. Cars all over the place. There's a party going on in my house. I come in. There's got to be 60. I go, Bobby, what's going on? He goes, having a little party, pal. I said, what, here? You said my house is your house. I want to throw a party. Are these your friends? Well, I know some of them, and they invited some other ones.
Oh, God.
So the next day, I said, you got to leave. He goes, you know what, pal? You're a real wimp. I go, I'm a wimp? Yeah, it's been 3 months. I would have thrown me out after the second week.
I remember once he walked like 6 miles to my house because it was my daughter's birthday. And he wanted to give her a stuffed animal. Remember? I mean, he had a soft spot for like little girl kids, you know, because he had a daughter, you know.
And Richie does too.
Yeah.
We all do. We all have it. You know, that's our nature.
Hey, you know, here's something funny, Bobby. A couple of months ago, me, Richie, and a friend of mine, Tom Drake. So I don't think you know. He's a very funny comic. And Jeff Zabrowski, my brother-in-law, who's been retired for how long do we say? 20 years?
25?
Yeah, 25 years.
What's he doing?
Well, he's retired now, but when Caroline had gotten sick that time, he decided he needed good health insurance, and he had a college degree, so he became a supervisor for the water department, and then he decided he couldn't do it full time. He didn't want to do it, you know.
Right.
So the rest of the time now he just drives us crazy with phone calls. But anyway, so we went to do a benefit. I don't even know what the benefit was for. I think it was hurricane victims or something. And Jeff said, I'll MC it. I'm coming out of retire, and I'm going to MC it. So Richie's backstage going, the guy hasn't been on stage in 24 years, and he's less nervous than I am, right? So we beg him to be like normal because it's like a benefit and don't go like he normally would. So he comes out and he goes, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this benefit tonight for a very important cause. He said, I got some great friends on this thing. Tom Drake, who I just met tonight for the first time, but he seems very funny. Richie Minervini, who's the founder of comedy on Long Island and a great stand-up. He goes, John Ferrentino, my brother-in-law, who is a pioneer in the world of comedy magic. And we're going to have a great show, but I need you to keep in mind tonight while they're performing, one of them used to be a woman. We were like, what? And he goes, thank you. And he walks off.
Oh, God. No, but I've heard that before. I play a lot of the theaters. The owners, the people that run the theater, they go, hey, we had that Maniscalco here. He reminds us of you. And I said, he's a good performer. He's a great comic. And that's we're all in the same family.
Yeah, I mean, we all learn from each other. I mean,
like no material wise, just the way he's animated and the way he moves around. And
right.
I got to tell you one more great Richie story. You'll love this. So years ago, we're doing a college, right? So Richie and I go to this college, and we're in the dressing room. This is probably 80s. And Richie goes, it's a college. I can't wait. You know this story, Richie. And he takes out this suede vest. And I go, what is that?
That was custom made.
This is my college vest. I kill with this vest. This is college kids love this vest. And I go, okay. So he puts on the vest. And he walks out on stage. And this guy goes, nice fucking vest. He walks on stage. He takes the vest and he throws it in the garbage.
Richie did?
I had a custom made leather vest by one of my waitresses. I had one in tan and one in black, and it was really cool. And I threw it right away. Yeah.
Richie always does that. If he has a bad show, he just throws the suit away, throws the tie away. I can't even wear this tie again. I had a bad show.
Bob, you know Danny Wilson, right?
Yes.
Okay. Dan gets off my stage. He's a funny guy, not a great show. Takes off his tie, throws it in the garbage. I go, what are you doing? He goes, never want to see this tie again. I said, Dan, I do the same thing. He goes, you're kidding. So, no, I have a bad show. I'm not going to wear that tie again. A bad reminder. About 3 weeks later, in the mail comes 2 ties from Dan Wilson. And we started sending ties back and forth. So I I'm doing a show up at the Catskills, my first time at Brown's. I can't wait. I go out and I'm eating it. I'm talking about marijuana and finger banging girls and their grandparents out there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a loser. I look at my watch. I'm supposed to do 35 minutes. I think I've done the 35. I'm at 12. I'm supposed to do Saturday night too. I get in my car, I pack and I go home. I know I'm going to get fired. So I'm just leaving. I'm in the car. I'm throwing the jacket out the window. I throw the tie out the window. I take the pants off. And all of a sudden I get pulled over by a cop. And it's the winter. I'm in my underwear and my socks. And he goes, get out of the car. Let me see the hands. I go, relax, man. And he handcuffs me and goes, we got him. He goes, did you just get gasoline? I said, yeah. He goes, we got him. A guy in a similar car got gasoline in the same place and shot the clerk. And this guy's banging me around. I go, I didn't shoot anybody. He goes, why are you throwing your clothes out the window? I go, I just had a bad show at Brown's. I'm a comedian. I never want to see his clothes again. And I'm out there freezing. God. He throws me in the back of his car, and then they get another call. They got the real guy. He goes, listen, give up comedy. It's not for you.
Richie, you're working in June?
I'm working in June at the Comedy Cabana in Myrtle Beach. They're doing social distancing. They were 10 feet apart each table. And
Great
we're going to see if comedy works like that.
Great club.
I got a call for tomorrow for last Saturday night for a club in Florida.
You got what?
A call to work a club last Saturday night in Florida.
You're kidding.
And I went, they go, yeah, we're going to open at 50%. I know this club, they've never had 50% ever.
Right.
And they were hoping. And
is that
so they go, yeah, listen, we'd like you to do it. There's not going to be a hotel because the hotel that we're a part of isn't open.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to open the club. And, we'd really love you to do it. Are you interested? And
You're in the car.
I respectively say no. And I said, plus, I think it would be hard to perform in a mask.
Right.
And they were like, oh, no, you don't have to wear a mask. And I go, oh, yeah, I do. So, I didn't do it. But I can't believe that they'd be open.
Hey, John, what's that booker's number?
Right.
Who books that gig?
Hey, John, how can people find you online?
You can find me on my website of dangerspookystuff.com or waverlyseance.com.
Oh, look at you.
Or my YouTube page under John Ferrentino.
All right. Richie, how can people get in touch? How can people know you?
Go to www.spookystuff and ask John to give you my information. I'm on Facebook. Anyone who requests a friendship, I do a friendship. Richie Minervini at facebook.com.
And you can follow me online at bobbycollins.com and the Bobby Collins on Instagram. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Bobby's Viral Friends on Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Guys, you're the best. Thank you so much, Richie. Thank you, John. It's good to have old friends.